Hello lovelies and welcome back to my stitch diaries. Here we've got a little chain stitch that I'm going to be demonstrating today. I've already sewn a little bit just so you get an idea of what it's going to look like. Here I've actually used two threads, but I'm just going to use one thread. I wasn't that happy with the look of the two threads. It's just a personal preference. I had started this as like a sample hoop that I'm stitching into, so it's just a practice hoop. It's just where I can go and have a go with some stitches and with some threads. I started off stitching in white, and then I stitched in colour, and then the other day I stitched in red, and the red on the white is really pleasing, so I thought I'd continue with that theme. And I pulled out of my stash these beautiful threads here. I've never used them before. They were a gift from my mum though, and let me show you a close up so you can see who they're by. So they are by a company called DMC, and they are cotton. Like I said, I've never stitched with them before, so well, apart from this little bit here. But so we'll see whether I like them or not. I'm used to stitching in crewel wool, which is quite a different thread to stitch with. But yeah, let's give it a go. They are really beautiful colours. You can't unfortunately see on camera, really see the difference. So I'll see if I can try and come up with a way to demonstrate that, but it might just be that they look different once they're stitched. So yeah, so we'll give it a go. I've drawn in here as well, I've drawn in a guideline. You don't need to draw in one of those, it's just a little preference that I have. I've used a friction pen, so friction pens are your friends sometimes, she says. You do need to test them out before you use them. Sometimes they don't always come off the fabric, especially if you're using a lighter fabric. They can leave like a little stain like it has here. That was using a red pen. This is a pink pen, and I haven't had any problems with the pink ones so far. I wouldn't use the black ones though. They do almost like bleach the fabric and leave a mark, but it just looks like a regular pen when you have a look at it. And to get rid of it, you can use the end. If you've just drawn quite lightly, you can use it to rub on the fabric itself. I don't always find this method very effective though. A hot iron will get rid of it instantly, or my preference is to use a hairdryer. I find it really easy just to use a travel hairdryer, and I never thought as an embroiderer that is something I would have in my kit, but I do. So let's just start here and see what we can do. Now I've come up in the fabric, making a chain stitch, so I've come up in the fabric. I'm going to hold a loop with my left hand. I'm right-handed, so my left hand is going to be here. Now I'm going to go back down into the fabric as close to that hole as possible. You can go through the hole or just slightly adjacent to it. Now, holding the loop open with my fingers, I'm going to come a short distance down the fabric, and I'm going to bring my needle up. Now I'm going to hold the needle with my left hand, whilst hopefully with my right hand pulling the thread taut against the needle, like so. So that allows me to just check that I like the size and the shape of my loop. And then I'll bring it up. Now I wonder if I can actually zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. Bear with me, I am still getting used to stitching actually on camera. I have to have patience with myself. That's me. Apologies, that's me hitting the camera with my glasses. So again, I've got a thread in a loop held in my left hand. Don't twist the loop as I just did. Keep that loop open. Bring the needle up on the line. You're going to hold on to that needle while tightening the loop beneath, so it looks like that. Once you're happy, you're just going to pull the thread up. So hopefully you can see that we're making some lovely little chains. It's a really pretty stitch. I have chosen to do this in a very delicate thread today. It does look quite different if you use a chunkier thread. There are lots and lots and lots of things that you can do with a chain stitch, which I'm quite excited to show you going forward. So I'll just do a couple more. So again, I'm holding the needle while pulling the thread underneath. Sometimes embroidery can be a little bit like patting your head and rubbing your tummy. It takes a little bit of getting used to. But once you get used to it, it can be like driving. You just kind of do it automatically. But hopefully you can see that that's quite a pretty delicate stitch. Now maybe do just one more. Before I finish off. So this is going to be the last one, and we're going to do a holding stitch. So again, you're going to come up inside the loop. You're going to hold onto that, pull it tight. So you've got a nice little loop around your needle. Then you're simply going to bring the needle up. And rather than creating another loop, you're going to make a little holding stitch. It's just going to do what it says on the tin, hold that loop down like so. So hopefully that's a gentle introduction to chain stitch. I will be back again with more stitches in the future and more uses for this very pretty stitch. Okay, thanks for stitching with me today.